what would you advise a pharmaceutical company to be working on right now?
I think, first of all, I advise watching very closely what happens with CMS in the coming weeks and months. So a couple of clear data points coming up, or one is CMS has issued some guidance on how they're going to implement the price negotiation program in its first year. That final guidance is expected a little bit later this summer, maybe as soon as sometime in July. So look at that. There are several lawsuits that have been filed. Those are going to take some months to sort through. There's going to be another round of lawsuits, I'd predict, once CMS has final guidance and starts implementing a process. There'll be lawsuits around whether that was appropriate administrative procedure or not. Those are being filed in a lot of different courts for a number of different claims. So watch those two, and then watch how this goes in its early years of the price negotiation application. And then the second thing I'd encourage organizations to do is think about some of the features of this law that may actually help them out in important ways. For example, the law includes the biggest expansion of Medicare Part D since that program was created back when I was at CMS when we first implemented it. In particular, new strong protection against so-called catastrophic drug expenditures. So any drug expenditures out of pocket over $2,000 in Part D now going to be covered by Medicare. Previously, people had to pay 5% of those costs, which could get to be thousands of dollars for 2% and growing of Medicare beneficiaries, and plans are going to be on the hook for more of that funding now. But the law did not give drug plans any new tools to limit beneficiary access to drugs. So, for example, for cancer drugs, for drugs for behavioral conditions, for drugs for immunologic conditions, for a lot of very important drugs in Part D, plans cannot restrict formularies. They have to provide access. And I think on net, this is going to be a positive factor for the returns, the revenues that manufacturers are going to be able to get, and certainly for uptake by beneficiaries. Related to this is another factor. I know many of us supporters of the law were not big fans of Medicare Advantage, the private plans in Medicare, which are now half of all of Medicare. If you think about it, those Medicare Advantage plans are going to be able to do a significantly better job with this expanded Part D benefit than the standalone plans. Why is that? Well, they're already used to working with physician prescribers and networks of prescribers to try to encourage the right use of drugs for the right patients. Right now in Medicare Part D, the benefit is more generous already in terms of what drugs are covered and out-of-pocket payments. And they're going to have more ability to integrate drug coverage, now much more comprehensive drug coverage, with care delivery to do things like prevent diabetes and obesity complications, or maybe manage other serious conditions, cancer, et cetera, better. So I think that's going to mean an even bigger premium advantage and benefit advantage for the Medicare Advantage Part D plans and the manufacturers who work with them relative to traditional Medicare. So that's some new opportunities and some new reasons, because the plans are going to be more on the hooks, or the manufacturers, for these high cost drugs, for the manufacturers to work with, find constructive ways to work with drug plans to use drugs effectively. That maybe another place, Hattie, where the more for better real world evidence would come into play.
So does it make sense, based on what you've just said, that industry could look and compare drug usage and in Medicare Advantage and compare it to general Medicare to get some insight into what this might look like going down the pike here?
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing in Medicare Advantage kind of lower out-of-pocket costs for some drugs that are helpful for managing chronic conditions, more generous drug coverage at a lower premium, as I mentioned. And I think what maybe is underutilized is efforts by manufacturers to help the drug plans and their PBMs and the prescribers they're working with to adopt better models of care, where the drugs and more of them, going back to the point where I started, are usable in conditions that can be diagnosed earlier and treated more effectively, whether it's, blood pressure, lipid disorders, diabetes, prediabetes, et cetera. But I think it means finding ways to show that the drugs being used in particular types of Medicare beneficiaries really are making a difference for their outcomes, for controlling the chronic diseases, for preventing the costly complications. Again, the drug coverage is now more generous, so there are more reasons to do that, and there are going to be more and more people enrolled in Medicare Advantage, because I think they're going to be attracted to the lower premiums and the more generous coverage that's going to be possible in this new expanded version of Part D.
Mm-hmm.